His question was, how does God know what God knows is best? Yes? It's like
his answer is he uses his knowledge,
so,
which is circular.
Would you like me to answer your question?
You know, I would pay money at this point for your answer. I've only asked you 9
your question.
times.
Let me just ask the question again. Let me reframe the question.
Do you think we're going to get an answer? I'm like,
okay, sir.
I'll put some money down to see.
You're being arrogant.
I have
sir.
an old £5 note.
Yeah,
I'm willing
man is
to put it
okay.
to see if you
being
actually
arrogant
answer the question
doesn't help you. Okay.
Well, you know, I'm being patient is what I'm being. I've asked
your
9
question
times.
was, how does God know that what God knows is best? Now, anyone who knows anything about logic, anyone who knows absolutely anything about logic, would know that this question itself is like asking a circular question. It's like asking, how do I know that I know? It's a paradox in itself. Let me ask you a question. If I ask you today, the question is paradoxical basically. If I ask you a question right here and right now,
I'm not hearing an answer.
No, excuse me, sir.
I think you're
No,
fine.
your question is paradoxical.
You don't know the source of
Do you
your
know
own
what
moral authority because you don't know how God knows or how he could.
Sir, if I said to you,
it's an old £5 note, but it's yours if you can answer the question.
No, I said to him, ladies and gentlemen, I said to him, he said to me, once again, answer my question. Does God know what God knows is best? I said to him, I'll answer your question when I ask you a question and you answer mine. So what was my question? I asked him, if a person who always lies, a compulsive liar, says I am telling the truth, is he telling the truth? This in philosophy is called a what? The liar paradox, which means if you say yes to this question, then how could he tell the truth when he's a compulsive liar? And if you say no, but I thought he was a compulsive liar. So if you answer yes or no, do you succeed? No, you don't succeed. So in other words, this is a paradox. In other words, this question, the liar paradox, like these other paradoxical questions, never yield positive or negative results. They are meaningless in themselves. It's like the question, ladies and gentlemen, can God create a rock so heavy that he can't lift it? That's a paradoxical question. It's like you're saying nothing. Why? Because you're saying, can God do something he can't do? If you understood the attributes of God, you wouldn't ask such a silly question. Why? It's like saying, can a short, tall man exist? Can I draw a circle and a square at the same time? Can I square a circle? These are examples of logical paradoxes. When you frame a question in a circular, paradoxical way and expect someone to answer that question, that is intellectual dishonesty or ignorance of the highest degree. So this man has exhibited ignorance of the highest degree and intellectual dishonesty.
Right.
Then he has told me...
You can get my version of this.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, here's what's...
The camera is there, sir. You can go ahead and get your... Exonerate yourself, sir. Exonerate yourself.
Here's what's dishonest.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
What's dishonest is to tell people that you know that God knows best. And when you're asked to explain how you know that, you go, oh, it's a paradox. Oh, it's a dishonest question. You have no basis for your entire worldview. But it's worse than that. He asked me the question, should you trust a liar? And then he goes, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. If you answer the question, I'll give you £5. Yes or no, yes or no. And I said no, and he wouldn't give me the money because he is a liar.
Okay, even if I'm a liar on your worldview.
Yeah, you're a liar. No, not on my worldview. Everyone here.
Okay, let's say I'm a liar. Let's say I'm a liar.
Where's my £5?
So calm down, sir.
Where's my £5?
Why do you want money so badly, sir?
Well, because you're a liar. I'm just proving that you're a liar. Why you're a liar?
Go to the council,
Why you're a liar?
Go to the council.
It's supposed to be. I tell you what's ironic.
Even if I'm a liar, ladies and
person
gentlemen.
here who claims that they have a God that keeps them honest and keeps them moral, and they're a liar.
Okay, fine.
I'm done.
Now, imagine.
I don't think there's any exonerating. And then you had the further dishonesty that saying I didn't give you money when I said I would is like saying, oh, can God create a rock so heavy he can't lift it?
Do you want money,
it's
sir?
nonsense.
Do you want money, sir?
I want your honesty, which you're incapable.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of something called ad hominem attacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm a liar, is what I'm saying untrue. This is exactly what he wants. He's begging me for £5 like a tramp. I mean, the truth of the matter is seriously like a tramp. I'm going to use the colloquial term. And a frantic tramp at that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it takes when the atheist is agitated because he can't find answers. The point is this, he's calling me a liar. I challenge any atheist here today, including this man. Watch my challenge, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to put this hat on after this. Yes? I'm going to put this hat on after this, right? And you're going to listen to me very carefully. I challenge any atheist today to give me... I'm only joking. I challenge any atheist here today, ladies and gentlemen, to give me a neurobiological a logical, a mathematical, any model to allow us to arrive at objective morality. Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is yours. Any atheist, come here and show me how objective morality can be asserted using any kind of method. Now, if you can't do this, calling me a liar is not a problem, because on the atheist worldview, lying is as good as telling the truth. Lying, and this is exactly what Richard Dawkins has said. He said there's no such thing as good, there's no such thing as bad, there's no such thing as evil. It's all blind, pitiless indifference, ladies and gentlemen. And Sam Harris in the moral landscape, he himself, he said in the footnotes, trying to hide his real views, he said, ladies and gentlemen, that there is no neurobiological way of asserting and knowing the truth from an atheistic perspective. Nietzsche said it, Bertrand Russell said it, Jacques Derrida said it. Every honest atheist comes to the same conclusion, which is there is no objective truth. Which means when the boy dies, ladies and gentlemen, when the young boy dies, when the infant dies, when rape occurs, all of that is nothing but a rearrangement of carbon, ladies and gentlemen, from an atheistic, naturalistic worldview. Don't talk to me about morals when you have no morals when it comes to an objective perspective. Don't talk to me about hierarchy when actually you and the rock, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, you and bacteria have the same moral value, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know, when you go to the toilet today, wait a minute, what am I saying? Yes, let me go there. Let me go there. When I give you £5 out of pity, and you go to the shops, and you get yourself a hot dog, and you have the hot dog, and then you go back home, and then you need to excrete. So you go to the toilet, you open the door, yeah, you go and excrete in the toilet, okay? And you don't use water like the Muslims do, and you flush the toilet. You and that excrement have the same value, sir. You and the excrement that you flush down the toilet have the same moral value from an atheistic objective worldview. And I challenge you and any atheist to tell me otherwise. You are atoms, you are carbon, that excrement is atom, that excrement is carbon. There's no difference between you and your excrement, sir. So don't talk to me about morals, and don't talk to me about objectivity, and don't talk to me about value, because sir, you don't have any objective morals, you don't have any value assigned to you. That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. So the question is, what do we do? Do we live this depressed life whereby we're walking around, and we see babies being killed, and that has no meaning? Is that what we do, ladies and gentlemen? Or do we take a step back and say, hold on? We say, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We say, wait a minute. There's something special about human beings. I'm not going to accept today that I'm going to have the same value as my excrement. I'm not going to accept today that the child, when he dies at the age of 6 months old, or when the woman has a miscarriage, whatever, or when those people are killed, or slavery that happened to the black people for centuries upon centuries, all of that. And by the way, on neo-Darwinism, slavery is nothing but, neo-Darwinism would suggest, and the black people should listen to this, neo-Darwinism, it would say that slavery suggests that the white race is better. Why? Because actually they were able to survive in a better way. They were able to subjugate in a better way. And by the way, in the 1940s, the scientists of this country and in the Western Hemisphere, they were producing papers. They were producing papers to suggest that the white race is more advanced than the black race. This is mentioned in Darwin's book, The Descent, that the savages, he called them the savages, the black savages, that they are lower than the Aryan race. And this is why Hitler took this and he put it into his eugenics program. This is not conspiracy, it's open secret, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to accept this neo-Darwinian madness? Are we going to accept this atheistic madness? Women, according to Darwin, in The Descent of Man, were less than men. They're less than them in every way. Feminism is literally down the toilet with this man's excrement. It's down the toilet with this man's excrement, because actually feminism has no neo-Darwinian basis. This is the madness that we have to live. If we were to adopt these incredibly materialistic, naturalistic philosophical assumptions. Why don't we come back now and say we need something above and beyond naturalistic explanation, metaphysical explanations, to assign to the physical things value and morals. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the Islamic case. In the Quran it says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have certainly honored Adam, the human being, sorry. We have certainly honored the human being. We have justification, theological, philosophical justification to assert confidently and certainly that human being is better than anything that's non-human. It's better than them. It's better than it in every single way. It's higher in value. You cannot say this on neo-Darwinism. You cannot say it. We have philosophical and theological reason to suggest that racism is wrong. The Prophet said there's no difference between the black man and the white man, the Arab and the non-Arab. وَإِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. And the best of you are those who are best in piety. The Prophet Muhammad said, إِنَّمَا النِّسَاءُ شَقَائِقُ الرِّجَالِ. That certainly women are equal to men. There are exceptions to this rule. There are exceptions. But what I am saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you want to believe in these paradigms, you have to have metaphysical principles that are assigned to human beings. And we believe that that can only be attained when you have a transcendent entity that has power, creative will, and the ability to do that. So today, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to look into this. Why are we here? What's the purpose of life? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Why are we here? What's the purpose of life? Are we really going to settle? Are we really going to settle with being as valuable as excrement and carbon? My friend of mine, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I go, a good friend of mine, he said before he became Muslim practicing, that he used to walk in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. He used to go to his place of work. And he used to go and see a butcher. And in that butcher there was a piece of meat that was dangling down. You know how they do it, you know. You know when they have the meat there, you know. And every day he felt depressed, ladies and gentlemen. And he looked at that meat. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, that I looked at that meat and I thought to myself, he had this naturalistic assumption, yes? That everything is arranged naturalistic. He looked at it and he said, look, what really is the difference? He said, what really is the difference between me and that piece of meat? He said, what really is the difference between me and that piece of meat? Both of us are just carbon. We are rearrangement of molecules and carbon and atoms. That's what we are. There's no intrinsic value in me. That meat and me are the same. Then he realized that actually there's something science can't answer. And this is the thing that you guys need to look into. We have consciousness, we have first-person subjective experiences, we have awareness. This science has never been able to answer. Why do we have it? How do we have it? We have language. Language. Read Noam Chomsky's works on this. Wallahi, language is not something that could have been evolved. I don't believe so. We have rationality. Rationality cannot be explained unless you use rationality, which would be circular. We have morals, which cannot be explained as we've explained unless you have reason to believe in morals. We're different to that piece of meat. Wallahi, we are. We are different to that piece of meat, ladies and gentlemen. And for that reason, I tell you today, ask yourself, why are we different? And the answer is, it's because we can ask why. Nothing else in creation can do this. We can ask why. Nothing else in creation can ask why. Why are we here? Where are we going? You get me? And the answer is this. Why are we here? We're here to connect with the one God, the Creator, to worship Allah. Simple. That's all I'm going to say. Look into Islam. Assalamu alaikum.